true or false? There has never been a more underrated player in the history of the Premier League than Michael Carrick. Oh, Louis gone for true. Seb and Ralph have gone for false. So you think there's a player more underrated than Carrick in the Prem? Can you name that player off the top of your head now? It's okay if you can't.
I've got one in mind. We've been speaking about him recently. Moussa Dembele.
Wow.
I think he's overrated.
I think Carrick's rated. That's why I don't think he's underrated.
Yeah, I think Carrick's rated, man. Because I think like people have the conversation about Carrick being underrated has happened so much that I think people have kind of realised that he's actually rated now. Because you can't underrate a player who's generally appreciated. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like people have kind of come around to the idea that Carrick was that guy and he was the engine. He was everything that ticked through him. So you don't win what you won without being rated. So from Man United point of view, like he's rated, and you're not from United fans' perspective. From outside, I don't know as much, but I feel like people have come around to the idea about rated. So I can't really say he's underrated. You know what I mean?
He has like 26, 27 England caps.
Yeah. Not many.
I mean, apparently there was the rumor that he didn't like traveling that much. He liked being at home and stuff like that, or within his comfort zone. However, to have under 50 England caps with how good he was, I know we had a gulf of good midfielders, but I think Scott Parker and Gareth Barry had more England caps. I think Fabian Delph's got more England caps. I think Ross Barkley's probably got a similar number. I love Ross Barkley, obviously, but I mean he's got a similar number of England caps to Carrick. Dodgi, fact check me if I'm talking doo doo. I think Carrick, when he's retired, probably people rate him more because you can look at his career as a whole. But when he was playing, I don't think he got the flowers he deserved. One thing I will say, there is one person we've mentioned this episode who may potentially be that, and that's Sterling.
Yeah, I was going to say Sterling. But even with Carrick, like, I think that's more of an England problem rather than a Carrick problem, because if you think about all of our golden generations as England, the managers and the system have been absolutely so dead, man. Like that Fabio Capello, we had Steve McLaren, like all these like generations of England teams just had crap.
But the Capello
Southgate, we've actually been, because you've actually had like a proper.
The Capello
structure.
thing don't make sense to me though, because Carrick is as close to an Italian or Spanish midfielder as what England have ever produced, but yet Capello would rather play Gareth Barry. So it didn't really make sense to me, because if it was an English coach, if it was Southgate, or if it were, I don't know, if it were an English coach, for instance, I'd understand them picking Gareth Barry over, because he gets stuck in, he gets his socks dirty, But Capello was Capello managed Madrid, managed AC Milan, Champions League winner as a player and as a coach. So I don't understand. And he managed Pirlo, he managed all of these guys. I don't understand how he didn't play Carrick, but he played Gareth Barry and Scott Parker over him. So I don't know.
I don't get that one either, because Carrick was literally starting for teams that win in Premier Leagues and just not getting rated. It's only that season, 2013, he really started to pick up his flowers, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's because Scholes had stopped playing.
I think I have an answer.
Why? What do you think is the answer?
That's when people started getting really into stats. In terms of, do you remember the graphics where it was like passes completed and it was like Xavi, and then Arteta was up there as well, and then Carrick, and like interceptions and stuff like that. That was when Sky Sports started adding these extra stats other than just goals and goals scored and goals against. And that 2012-13 season, I remember very specifically, Carrick was very high on the passing, the interceptions and stuff like that. So I think that's why people started rating him, because stats really started to evolve in football.
Yeah.
Whereas before that, I mean, 2008 Champions League final, when Carrick was probably in his pomp, I couldn't tell you what the stats were, but I remember seeing the stats in 2013.
It's weird, because you don't need to look at stat sheet to see how good he was as a player. And yeah, even in the conversations we were talking about Gerrard, Lampard and Scholes earlier, we didn't even mention Carrick. It would feel weird to mention him, but realistically, in terms of his position, you know, he did as good of a job as them two, maybe, you know. So I think it's a weird one. I was looking back at comps of him the other day. I was like, wow, this guy genuinely looks like, he doesn't look too different to Busquets. I'm not going to lie.
He was ridiculous.
Doesn't look too different. I'm not saying he's as good as him, but in terms of the style of play,
He was a better long passer than Busquets.
wow. Yeah. So Carrick is underrated. Moussa Dembele, he was. I don't Oh, I feel like there was a phase a few months ago where he was getting rated high.
I think when he was playing, he got underrated, but now when he retired, he became overrated. With guys saying like he's the best midfielder ever. The guy scored like 3 goals a season. He was top though.
Yeah.
He was top.
Just the thing about him is he didn't have the devastating ability, I wouldn't say. So don't get me wrong, you couldn't get the ball off him, but that wouldn't win you a game. Wouldn't necessarily lose you a game. Or some players like Declan Rice have match-winning and match-saving ability. I don't think Dembele had that. But he was absolutely pressure resistant. If he had a pass on him, I think he'd be, undoubted how good he is.
I agree. I think he's one of them players, the idea of him, and when you watch him, he's a very...
He was good.
He's a very romantic kind of player because the way he carried the ball and the way you couldn't really get the ball off him. But you're right, when it came to actually both boxes, he wasn't that great. He's basically like an evolved Pokemon version of Ndombele.
Yeah. Ndombele was a prospect and a half, though. He should have been...
Man just loved food too much, I think, bruv.
Yeah.
To be honest, like... Even when he was at Napoli, he was like showing up with a belly and that.
On the ball, he was top.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Unpressable.
Pretty unpressable. I would give mine to... I would have said Cesc Fabregas, I'm not going to lie. I don't think he gets enough flowers, but I think people do rate him. But I think he's genuinely in all-time centre-mid conversation in the Prem.
When he was playing, I was hearing them kind of things.
Really?
Especially at Chelsea.
Like for me, Fabregas makes an all-time Arsenal 11.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Would you make an all-time United 11, though?
Probably not
Keane, Carrick, Scholes.
In Pomp, when Fabregas was playing, he was better for Scholes. When he was playing.
Yeah, get out of it, man.
He was.
Fabregas was great, though. But...
He
nah,
was.
man.
He
He weren't a bona fide starter for Spain or Barca.
Neither was Scholes.
Scholes
For England.
That's not his fault though. Like
that's
really.
Yeah.
And is it Fabregas?
He was the sacrifice for Giroud and Lampard to play in it. Like.
Yeah.
And Fabregas was the sacrifice for Xavi and Iniesta.
Yeah, but Iniesta played on the left. So they even moved Iniesta out of position, and Fabregas still couldn't get in there, bro. He wasn't even in the top 4 centre midfielders in the team.
I mean, Gerrard moved left, and England. I saw Owen Hargreaves getting chosen over Scholes.
Spain played 3 midfielders. Barcelona played 3 midfielders. This was the 4-4-2 England we're talking about. Spain played 3 midfielders.
Either way you shape it up, Scholes was not playing centre mid for England, and why I'm not sure. Unfortunately, I was young those times.
But we know why Fabregas wasn't playing. It's because he wasn't as good as the other man. Although Fabregas was great.
But you can literally say that for Scholes. There's an argument you can say it for Scholes. He wasn't as good as the other players.
Honestly, I think you make the argument that he's better than both of them. That's just my opinion, right? But also, I think his trophy cabinet kind of shows that as well.
What, Fabregas? Oh yeah, Fabregas was cold.
Scholes.
Oh, both of them.
Both top players. Just from my memory of watching football, which is about, I can remember from about 05 onwards, Fabregas was always considered up there with the top centre mids with Lampard and Gerrard. I'll never really hear Scholes' name, personally. Maybe that's because United had more squad depth than Arsenal, maybe, but go check who was making the team of the seasons them year. Who was making the shortlist for Player of the Year. Fabregas was there, Scholes wasn't really there. Why? I don't know. You could say Scholes had better ability, sure, but in terms of what I was seeing during them seasons, Fabregas was...
Do you think that's true about Scholes, though?
What?
Because why is he so highly rated now, then? Like, for instance, I seen a TikTok earlier of Wayne Rooney, and they asked him who's the best player you played with, and he said, well, Ronaldo or Scholes? Oh, actually, Paul Scholes.
No, I'm not even necessarily saying Scholes was overrated, but he definitely in Pomp was not.
Has anyone said that Fabregas is the best player they've ever played with?
But I think, I'm pretty sure if anyone played in those Arsenal teams, you would say Fabregas was the best player they played with.
Wasn't even like
Van Persie on the team as well.
Van Persie those times weren't that great, to be fair.
Numbers wise. But
hey, I said Fabregas was an underrated player. And this is all kind of proving my point. I think.
Nah, Fabregas is top, but I think he's quite fairly rated now in hindsight. To be fair to you, I remember you telling me this in like 2008, 9, where you're saying like when he retires, everyone's going to say he's one of the best ever. I remember you saying specific words. That hasn't happened, but I think we can look back on his career and say he was top.
Yeah.
Maybe could have played more. in terms of if he would have left Barcelona a little bit earlier, he probably could have gone and played for someone else. And he came back to the Premier League and won it with Chelsea, and he was amazing that year with Diego Costa and Hazard.
Yeah. I think, the club he played for didn't help him, unfortunately. Arsenal those times weren't really winning trophies like that, you know. So he had too much of a burden on his back carrying the Arsenal team. And then went to Barcelona and then went from being the big fish in the small pond to the small fish in the big pond. And then did well at Chelsea.
He did well at Barca as well. And he
did
played
well at Barcelona, yeah.
He played centre forward a lot.
He did well at Barca.
He did well.
But you're judged on winning Champions Leagues at Barca.
But I just think, like, even when Iniesta was playing out on the left, Fabregas still wasn't a guaranteed starter in the middle.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a...
But you had so much competition.
Yeah, but surely Fabregas would have played on the left or wherever.
You have that Barca team, that Real Madrid team, pretty much all Spanish players. And also, you know, as a Spanish coaches just favour their league.
Fabregas was in that league though.
Yeah, but like not for Euro 2008, not for World Cup 2010. He was in the Premier League. World Cup Euro 2012. Sure, I think he started in Euro 2012. Though.
Didn't David Silva start a lot as well? Euro 2012, if I remember correctly.
But Silva played on the wing. Fabregas was never playing on the wing.
But why?
He's not a winger.
Yeah, but Iniesta wasn't a winger.
The Iniesta's got more wing traits than Fabregas.
Why?
He's a better dribbler.
Because he's better than him.
You could say so, but I mean, look, Fabregas was putting up better numbers than my man, so...
Ain't just numbers though.
Yeah, underrated player, man. Underrated.
Maybe.
Underrated player.
I just think the disrespect of Scholes there wound me up a little bit.
Nah, I'm not disrespecting Scholes. I'm just saying what I remember. I don't remember him being brought up in those conversations when I was watching ball.
I was close to dyeing my hair ginger, bruv. So
I'm sucking some toes.
I don't know. Whenever I hear like things like that, I just think like I swear Scholes has always been like spoken about like this.
yeah,
I don't remember anyone ever saying Scholes wasn't the guy. Do you know what I mean?
I don't ever.
Nah, but it's crazy though. He did play for 20 odd years and was in the team of the season twice. Shout out being in the team of the season twice. That's a great feat.
Yeah, but so is Odin Wengi, bro.
That's not the point. He was not, for as good as he was, he wasn't considered amongst the best players in the league by the peers, as much as but Lampard, Gerrard, who were in, even Keane, Vieira, these guys are in 5, 6, 7 team of the seasons. Why? I don't know. Someone will have to tell me the answer. Someone, because
again, I think a lot of these things are PR though, man. Like, if you think about like a lot of sort of day-to-day football, people are always going to be focused in on, again, it comes up to media as well in this sort of sense, is unsung heroes. You've got your Carricks and people who are clearly like good players. Like, for example, if you think about nowadays, like Rodri winning the Ballon d'Or, the game's changed so much, whereas back then it wasn't like these guys weren't PR guys, man. It wasn't I
think that period of time was when we were very far behind in terms of understanding of football, and maybe we still are, but I mean, you look at Omri and people like that and how they speak about Scholes, Pep, how these guys speak about Scholes. They've said on record who is the best out of Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard. These guys have said Scholes. But England clearly didn't think that back then, and maybe there's a reason England haven't won anything for 65 years.
Because the guys who win stuff are noticing that, and we're not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Maybe.
Didn't Omri say that he's the one player he wished he played with in the Premier League?
Yeah, I mean, no. Look, Scholes has got the most quotes in football. No one said more. Outside of Messi and Ronaldo, I don't think anyone has more words than him than Scholes, which is a good thing. It obviously shows how good he was as a player. But
and look,
my point still stands.
Fergie said he was one of the 4 world-class players he coached. And he was consistently a starter for Man United. I mean, there's probably players who had better individual seasons. Majority of the time you had the Rooneys, the Ronaldos and stuff like that. But none of these guys started every single game for 15, 16 years.
Scholes didn't, though. Like, Scholes didn't start...
Majority of games.
He played 1 Champions League final.
Yeah, because he was suspended for the other one. Well, the other 2. He was suspended for 2
Did he start 2009? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think he did.
We'll go on to another one now.